Talking about spirituality and the leading of a spiritual life, do you believe, Your Holiness, that it is more difficult today, these days, to lead a spiritual life?
I think firstly, in what sense spirituality? Spirituality, in a sense, some religious belief and devotion. Then, I think different question. On the other hand, the spirituality means something meaningful life, or truthful, peaceful, and I think I should say more realistic, and not only concerned about external facilities, material comfort, but also taking concern or taking sort of seriously about our inner value. That I consider another kind of spirituality. I think that today's world, I think very much need.
You talk a lot about, and you've written about, the inner world.
Yes.
What do you mean by the inner world?
I think simple way to explain affection. It's just sort of human expression, or even animal. That I think top most precious to us. But that affection cannot produce by machine, or affection cannot buy with dollar. So affection is something our inner, I say, quality. So human being, as a living being, and moreover, we are a social animal. Therefore, in order to be happier human being, affection is most important factor. So sometimes I feel in modern society, we neglect about these inner value, and then we just seeking comfort from external means. So that way, even some of my friend, billionaire, very rich, but as a person, very unhappy person. Why? Not due to lack of external or material facility, or their fame, or their power, or their sort of privileges, but because lack of inner value. This is my feeling.
It is easier to get external satisfaction than inner value, though, isn't it?
I think answer will be both yes and no. Yes, sometimes the external things bit easier. The internal development or internal richness, you need more effort through training of mind. So it is in a way more difficult. But in a way, the inner value, all the potential of inner value from the birth, we already have. So there's no need any sort of any effort. Sometimes in order to gain some material benefit, you have to show more smile. You have to speak nice words like that. But inner development, no need that kind of thing.
Can we all
already here?
Can we all learn how to get that inner contentment, inner satisfaction? You have been meditating and praying for all your life. Can the rest of us get anywhere close to that?
The basic human value is concerned. I think everyone has same potential. I think same opportunity, I feel. And in fact, now we, I think more than 6 billion human beings, everyone come from mother's womb, and then through mother's milk, we grown up. Under mother or someone else's affection, under that we grown up. We survived today because of that affection. I think at that time, 1 week without affection, we die. So that's the way our lives start. So today, I think no matter how you say one individual, cruel type, but still there is seed or potential of that affection. Reason, even that cruel person appreciate if someone shows affection. So therefore, I feel we all human beings, and some extent, even animals, have the same potential. Now, thing is, when we are young, these basic human potentials are quite sort of, quite fresh. Then we grown up. I think maybe, you see, you and me both, maybe our intelligence, our brain becoming more sophisticated.
Too sophisticated?
Then sometimes we neglect about our basic value.
Do you think we become too sophisticated for our own good?
I think sophistication, mind itself, I think nothing wrong. But only sophisticated mind without other mental value, then it becomes sometimes destructive. So the further sort of the development, further progress in our brain, meantime, our warm-heartedness, our sense of concern of other, respect or recognition others' right, then and more warm-heartedness. Now these are, I think, the force which becoming something like, I think, counterbalance our intelligence will not go wrong direction. So that's my view. So the modern education, I feel, sometimes I think lacking. I feel about the education of inner secular spirituality.
Secular spirituality,
yes.
Not religious spirituality.
That's right.
Which is more important?
Secular. No question.
So you can have spirituality without religiosity.
That's right. That's important. I think that when I say spirituality, I meant that.
Not religion.
Religious spirituality with religious faith, it's to certain people, including myself. But humanity in general, I don't know. Realistically speaking, I think 6 billion entire human beings try to become believer. I think that's difficult. There's many non-believers there. They're also part of humanity.
So what spirituality are we talking about without religion? What spirituality is that?
Goodness of human being. Like you see there, by nature, I have the potential, when I saw another human being suffering, I have the feeling, want to share, want to help. At least even cannot help practically. I want to share mentally their problem. These are human nature. Even animal. One animal die or wounded. The other sort of same species of animal or their group. You see, they sometimes what we call licking. That is the showing of affection, one another.
Let me ask.
So that's our basic nature, our basic value.
Do you... I hesitate to ask this question.
Oh, okay. No need any hesitation.
Do you get angry?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yes. If you ask some stupid question, I may lose my anger.
Oh. But people never think of the Dalai Lama as getting angry. We think of...
That's nonsense. I'm a human being. Oh, I am the same human being. Of course, I think I spent a lot of sort of time or energy trying to shaping my mind, try to less these negative emotions such as anger, hatred, jealousy, and try to try to increase positive emotions such as patience or compassion, like that. In spite of that, of course, get rid of these all negative emotion, not at all easy. I am Buddhist. From the Buddhist viewpoint, it may take eons, it may take several lives. So, but I think according to my own little experience, if you make effort, use our intelligence, year by year, or decade by decade, you can see some improvement. Now, today is my mental state. Compare, say, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Today, I think, hopefully, at least hopefully, I think my mental state much better. So that's, I believe, result of my practice. But still, I'm a human being. I'm normal human being.
No.
Therefore,
No,
I think I prefer, I should have anger in order to show I'm a normal human being.
Let us just pause for one moment. Just pause. One thing I want to talk about is you spend a lot of time thinking about death.
Yes.
Most of us know it is going to happen, and we would prefer not to think about it.
That's an unrealistic attitude. Because sooner or later, that will come. That is part of our life. So if you ignore that, it is unrealistic.
You don't ignore it, but why dwell on it? Why plan for it? Why think about it? Why wish to experience the emotion before it arrives?
The reason is, even some sort of problem, some tragedy, if you have the sort of knowledge, that kind of tragedy will come, then you will prepare for it. So the actual tragedy come because you already prepared out of awareness of that. So much easier to face it. Totally unprepared, totally unexpected, then something happened. Then you really face a lot of chaos. So, similarly, death. Right from the beginning, accept it. Sooner or later it will come. It's a part of my life.
But you don't want it to happen soon.
When actual death comes, of course I do not want to die. But whether I like it or not, it will come. So it is better mentally or emotionally. Accept it. That's another reality will come. So then think more. What will happen? It's much better. Then you see already prepared. So actual death come much easier to handle. If you totally unprepared, totally sort of ignore that, then once that one day doctors say, now there's no way to cure your illness or something, then you totally collapse.
In your long life, with its many trials and tribulations, did you or have you ever had a moment's doubt that you are the reincarnation, that you are the Dalai Lama, and never thought, hey up, they got it wrong. They got the wrong man all those years ago.
Now here, even publicly, many cases, I just express, I am not the true true or the same being of previous Dalai Lama. But if you ask me, am I Dalai Lama? I will say yes. There's no doubt. But the acceptance of being Dalai Lama not necessarily accepted I'm same being of the previous Dalai Lamas.
Right.
Now you need some explanation. The reincarnation, not necessarily same being, but a being who have like same quality, same potential, who can carry the task which started by previous Dalai Lama, then that being can be something like replacement of the previous Dalai Lama's sort of seed. And so I believe I'm that kind of reincarnation. Say, the second Dalai Lama, he himself, clearly demonstrated he was, I think, the rebirth of previous Dalai Lama. He himself accepted. But my case, I never said that. I don't believe that. My spiritual qualification compared to the previous Dalai Lama, my case is much, much worse. So I think if I, because you see, the spiritual inner experience will never degenerate. So therefore, that is the main reason I'm not the same being of the previous Dalai Lama.
But you think you're the right man for the job?
I think so. Now, more than 70 years, I think I prove it.
and anyway, it's a bit late, if anybody thought otherwise. Your Holiness, you are very keen that there is scientific research into the foundations and the various aspects of Buddhism. You have promoted scientific research, haven't you, into your beliefs? You believe that some of these things should be tested. Why is that?
My close contact or discussion with many scientists in different fields of science, I think mainly not seeking some kind of proof, some of Buddhist doctrine from science, not that way. I feel certain Buddhist concept, I think beyond the scientific sort of means, you cannot prove by up-to-date scientific way. Difficult. So I'm not thinking that way. But you see, I think there are, as we already touched, the internal and external. So modern science, up to now, they carry much investigation, experiment on external world. Compare Buddhism, the scientific research much more deeper. So, as a Buddhist, it is immensely useful to learn what science found about matters, about Black Seas, or these things. Now, modern science now gradually come closer about human emotion, human mind, with the sort of research work about brain. Now here, Buddhist explanation or ancient Indian thought, a lot of explanation about mind or emotion. Here, scientists can learn or can find some useful, cooperate with ancient Indian thought. So now here, mutual benefit. We get much benefit from explanation about external things, matters like particles or quantum physics and quarks. Now these are modern physicists really have, I think, wonderful knowledge. And also about brain, wonderful knowledge. But as far as emotion, different kind of emotion, minds, they are ancient Indian thought, I think.
But why do you
great potential to offer, to help. So some kind of work together about human mind, about human emotion, and how to tackle some of these destructive emotion. Now here, I think my contact or our work with scientists seems positive or good result up to now.
Let us bring matters up to date. Let us talk about China. Let us talk about Tibet. How do you stop yourself from anger, from fury, from grief? Well, you have grief, but from just sheer raw emotion over what you say and what you believe has been done to your country. How do you do that? Because it must try even your patience.
Oh, I think basically our mind trained according sort of Buddhist concept. So Buddhist concept, one, I think basically I feel the knowledge or the knowing the fact is the key thing. So the awareness about fact, even political or national struggle or freedom struggle, in these fields also, you see, key thing is awareness about the fact. Then, accordingly, you act. So your approach becoming more realistic. So sometimes our today's sort of our tragedy or suffering due to our negligence of previous generations, past generations. So they've already done these, tragedies, causes, conditions already done. No need to worry. It happened. Past is past. Too much worry never help to reduce the problem. Too much worry is only increase our own mental sort of unhappiness. So be realistic. What can be done? How much we can done?
All right.
We can do. Study, research, analyze, do it. Meantime, you should know the limitations. According to the fact, once we saw the limitation, accepted that, no problem. So that's my main approach, main way of approach. So less worry, less sort of mental or disturbances.
Okay. So, can I ask you some more blunt questions?
Oh yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Okay.
You now have, there are a certain number of critics of Your Holiness that say your approach, your non-violent, non-confrontational approach over Tibet with the Chinese has not borne sufficient fruit. It has not worked. Your critics say this.
Yes.
You're familiar with this?
Yes. Yes, they have their own reasons. But if we ask them what else they can do, I think very little answer there. I think more important, I feel, because of my way of approach, Firstly, strictly non-violence. Secondly, not seeking independence or separation. Try to find some mutually agreeable solution within the Chinese constitution. Now, because of this way of approach, more and more Chinese now showing their concern, their sort of, sense of solidarity. So this is, if we follow more violent way or complete independence, I don't think we will get this much sort of support from Chinese community.
In Hong Kong, they managed to get the one country, two systems idea from the Chinese. Why can you not, and why do you believe that you have been unable to get some form of compromise system for Tibet from China?
Actually, I made very clear, very often, the Tibet liberated not by gun. The Chinese themselves always say that. Tibet liberated by agreement, 17-point agreement. That agreement, if you read carefully, the spirit of one country, two system is very much alive there.
So why can't you get that from them now? Why have they been able and willing to give it in Hong Kong and elsewhere, but in 2006, it is not possible for you to negotiate some similar sort of deal?
In early 80s, one of my delegation, when they have audience with some Chinese leaders in Peking, they mentioned we have more right to make demand than Taiwan. Then the answer from the Chinese high official was Tibet already liberated, Taiwan not yet liberated. So therefore, they have more right to say some more demands, more right. So in any way, that's up to the Chinese government. But I'm asking them, on behalf of Tibetan people, we have unique the cultural heritage and environment and spirituality. If you preserve these things, it's actually enrich culture of people from China, and also the careful preservation about ecology in Tibet, Tibet Plateau, is immense benefit for long run in China proper, the water resources. So therefore, they should take special care about the Tibetan culture, about the Tibetan environment. For that reason, naturally, about Tibet, Tibetan knows better, then they should have final authority.
But your critics say, I'm sorry to come back to your critics again, but you'll forget.
I always welcome criticism, because we deliberately promote about democracy.
But your critics say your way hasn't worked, sir. It hasn't succeeded.
Firstly, we should be realistic. Our problem, dealing with people's problem of China, huge country, very big nation, economically, militarily, manpower, everything, very big nation. Dealing with that, we need more patience. And we should know the limitation, I feel. So, as I mentioned briefly before, you see, since around 77 and 9, and eventually my middle wave approach become public. Then, including Tibetan Youth Organization, and also including my elder brother, say, very much critical about my approach. Even my eldest brother told me, you sold Tibetan right. The 14th Dalai Lama become traitor of Tibetan right. Okay, doesn't matter. So at that time, some occasion, I asked, you see, some argument, some of the leader of youth organization. They have no sort of systematic sort of plan or systematic sort of what's the program. Just much more emotionally. Of course, you see, whether you see Tibet is part of China or not, that's a historical or legal sort of issue. I always made clear, this is not a political reason, a political decision.
Right.
History, up to historian, up to legal expert. I'm looking forward. In future is concerned, I'm not saying independence, because Tibet, landlocked country, materially backward, small population. Meantime, we also need material development. While I'm emphasizing importance of inner spirituality, but at the same time, practical level, we need more modernization of Tibet. There, if Chinese provide us meaningful autonomy, then as far as economy progress is concerned, we will get much benefit if we remain within the people of China. So that's my approach, my reason. And many Tibetans understand that.
Just a few more questions. There was a question on dreams, wasn't there?
Yes. Has a dream ever
Yeah.
impacted on the life of a nation?
One of my colleagues wants me to ask you, has a dream ever impacted, are you okay? Has a dream ever impacted you in your life? A decision that you have taken that
No.
you can think of?
No. I think it is quite foolish. If you too much believe in dream.
Now, just a minute.
Well, what do you mean dream?
You go to sleep, you have a dream.
Dream. You cannot rely. Except some dreams, very clear and not just once, often repeated, then there might be some significance. But I never have that kind of dream.
No.
So I never rely on dream.
But you have a good night's sleep.
Oh yes, 8 hours, 9 hours sleep.
Really? You must be doing something right. Your Holiness, finally, if we could turn the clock back, imagine I can.
Yes.
Would you still have gone into exile when you did? Would you still have taken that decision on that day to
Yes.
leave?
No doubt.
No doubt.
I think afternoon of 17th, 17th March 1959. That's, I think, change of whole my life, and to some extent, change of Tibetan sort of issue. I feel 100% correct.
No doubt.
No doubt. Even some elder Tibetan. In early 60s, some of my officials, elder, showing occasionally a little doubt. But then, since mid-60s, Pension Lama dismissed, and then Cultural Revolution started. A lot of upheavals. Then all these elder officials who have little skeptical or little doubt about our decision, then all unanimously express, now that decision becomes right.
Did you have any moment of doubt about naming the next Panchen Lama? Did you have any moment of doubt bearing in mind the consequences that did happen to him. Could you have kept that to yourself?
Now, actually, my decision about Panchen Lama, without anything about political thing, if I to take political consideration about choosing of reincarnation of Panchen Lama, some of my friends asked me reincarnation of 10th Panchen Lama should find outside China. But I don't care. I feel this is political. This is a political mandate, political sort of view. Now, what we should do is sincere, traditional, spiritual way. Doesn't matter Panchen Lama here outside or India.
The consequences, though.
Or in Tibet. So I took the decision entirely according to the traditional spiritual way. Then some consequences happen. But in practical level, before that decision, several occasions, I tried to communicate with Chinese government. But then, no clear answer. Meantime, many Tibetans urged me I should decide. Then there's no other choice. Historically, I have the responsibility. Therefore, purely according to the spiritual, traditional way, I decided. Then some consequences happen. Sorry. I have no regret. I done my best.
Do you regret anything, Your Holiness?
No. Just the other day, I met, before I go to South India to perform some important ceremony, I met some Tibetan groups here. So without fully sort of precaution about cold or cough. So as a result, I got severe cough. So that's my regret, one of the regret. So that kind of regret always happens. But in serious matter, almost none. Almost none. Of course, I do feel some sort of resentment. Not our Chinese brothers, sisters, but mainly our previous generations, one generation or two generations. The end of 19th century and then early 20th century, during those periods, I think the Tibetan concerned people, including high lamas, I think completely neglected out of ignorance and also impractical. So, we not prepared.
The one thing I can say, my watch is still working. I'm not going to let you repair my watch. Apparently...
that I think, if I want to repair that, then I will hit it. Then I got the job.
No, keep away from my watch. Thank you very much, Your Holiness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was most interesting.
Thank you.